flaw in it, and that was the fact that substrate was changing so much and so chaotically that it was extremely hard to maintain the applications that are building on top. They're building on substrate, and that is something that a lot of parachains are struggling with. I am happy and proud that we have solved for that. The SDK we just released is completely isolating any DF from changes in substrate, and that again is a very big step in the adoption, because it allows all the developers who want to develop any NFT applications to do so without additional training. They need an intro to that SDK, which lasts, half an hour, and they understand it from the get-go. That's enough. It works on JS. We are now working on implementations in different languages, starting with mobile, with Android, with Unity, with then further we have a roadmap of other stuff we need to do, of course, iOS. But we know there's a need for more, but those things will come as the demand comes in. We are learning how to do these things quickly, and as such, we aim to make Unique very accessible to every developer on the planet, that we work in their language, and they can use the blockchain as if they're using any database they know. Okay, that's the main purpose of the blockchain. It is a database. With all that building, we are ready for ecosystem growth. Ecosystem becomes our sole mission and purpose now. We have to work for building it, growing it, and making sure that it is successful. For that, we already have, as I said, a number of software tools that we believe allows a very demanding project to have what they need to easily work on Unique, that they don't have to do hard things at all. We have a large development team that helps them understand what they need to do and bridge that, and sometimes even do things with them, for them. Those things are already happening. So as I said, ecosystem becomes our sole mission. Because with ecosystem of developers, they will bring in the users, and the chain will become valuable because of its use. That's the mission. That's not going to happen overnight. It will take some years, but we are ready for it. We have what's necessary for it, and we learned how to handle that growth in a sustainable way. And by sustainable, I mean scalable. I mean, we understand we have the support organization in place that helps the project, and we have had some great successes with that of late. I've been told by kind of ecosystem growth team at Parity that some of the projects that they have written off as not going to build on Polkadot, we have successfully signed up and implemented. So it kind of serves to me as a proof that that we are doing things right. It's very worthwhile mentioning we are in a very deep bear market, and a bear market that will probably stay like that, or get worse or better, or worse or better over the next year, or maybe even two. Bear markets in crypto, they last for a couple of years usually. It started off in April, and how long it's going to take, we don't know. And that environment is a challenge and an opportunity. It's an opportunity because a lot of in a bull market, it's very hard to get anybody to do actually a accomplish anything. Everybody has so many opportunities that they fly around without actually doing things. Here we have the bear market is survived only by very dedicated people who are in it for the long term, and usually with those kinds of people, it's easier to actually get things done and build innovative solutions that will, as the whole market grows, start getting a lot of traction and growth. That is the dynamic of crypto markets in general and blockchain technology in particular. It's something we have to adopt and live with, and our main goal is to survive for a couple of years before it kind of goes up again, and to make sure we are well positioned for growth as the market starts getting traction. Our strategy in ecosystem development is focused on two types of projects. One is a number of NFT startups that are single project purpose kind of entity. The apps that have one app that just kind of is supposed to be built and grow. These types of projects we serve by having a ready set of tools. We are heavily working now on documenting and describing everything we have, and explaining how to use everything that we have and what to use it for, and so on. Most of the team now is busy exactly with documentation, education materials, those things that are necessary for all those projects to efficiently get on board, because we cannot serve hundreds of them at the same time if we kind of get involved deeply. So we need to give them ability to self-serve and kind of understand things quickly and move on to building. The second group of ecosystem builders are enterprise or platform partners, teams that build some kind of a solution that they can onboard then a number of projects themselves. The ideal example of this is Lemonade. We have done a lot of things to enable them to work on Unique. We are the only chain that was capable of doing that in the Polkadot ecosystem so far. And they are having now almost every month an event that uses it to issue tickets and some surrounding use cases. The idea for us is that we nurture and help these kinds of partners most. We give them particular attention of everybody, of executive team, of technical support team, of developers, because they bring in so-called repeated business to kind of talk in old economy terms. They are builders of the user base for us, so that is very, very important for long-term scalability, because if we sign up one partner that then kind of does one project a month at Unique, then that will bring in 20 more times the audience and the users, and there will always be new ones, so on, to then a single project solution. This group covers also some potential very big projects and so on. That is basically the main focus from the executive team, and this is what I believe will bring in strong growth over time. It will need time. We started doing that earlier this year. We are on track to onboard 12 projects, 12 partners like that a year. And I believe that as time goes by, we will either stay at that speed or accelerate even. And then when each of those does one project a month, then that the effect multiplies, so that within 3 years we'll have hundreds of projects. So that That is basically the math we have. Um, I will keep some of the questions. There were a number of questions from the community on our listing, and those things I will keep that for the end because I believe that people will start kind of onboarding the call as we go, and I want to give a chance to others to kind of give updates on everybody's parts of the updates that are specific to functions. So with that, Charu, who's next? I think Greg is next, right?
Yes, Greg will be next, and Greg can share updates on development and core development.
Hey, yes, thanks for having me here. Yeah, I'll tell what we have. I'll talk about what we have new in the tech site. We're rolling the release 30 out, which means we include EVM features that will enable many EVM developers like Lemonade, for example, that Alex mentioned, to build on Unique. This is a big set of features. We're continuously working on it. EVM will never end as Ethereum develops itself. It's not finished. So we'll keep catching up. Also, one important update: we enable Ledger support. This is one little change we needed to make on chain, and the rest of it is going to be done by Ledger developers. It will be followed by Ledger app supporting Quartz and Unique in a few months, probably. How quickly depends on Ledger development, but it's important to mention we have an agreement in place. We're also launching the Sapphire network. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. It's actually being launched as we speak, and it will go live soon. It is a standalone network that will have bleeding edge tech deployed on the shortest time frame to be tested with real life applications in not only technically but also economically. So it will have it will have token that's worth that's non-zero cost price has non-zero price. It's not meant to replace Quartz in any way because initially it will have zero token supply. It will only operate on Quartz. Actually, we exchange Quartz for Sapphires, and we'll exchange no more than 1% of Quartz to Sapphire to power its operation. And again, so the main purpose of Sapphire is to give the developers early access to most recent features and skip the wait until they go to Quartz and Unique, so that they can quickly land or onboard their applications and run in production with bleeding edge tech. And last but not least, that I'd like to mention is app staking, where it will go live on Opal next week. Opal is our testnet. And it will go live on Quartz in November if everything goes okay with Opal testing. App staking is the type of staking that will allow owners of or holders of Quartz and Unique to both earn staking rewards and support application developers by providing free transaction sponsoring to their apps. This is important to emphasize. This has double purpose. It's not only staking that brings rewards and shares inflation between stakers. It also is useful for developer community. Okay, well, these are all important updates from me, Charu. Take on. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg. And yeah, Greg, did you want to mention the work around the RFT campaign and the fact that we've started and we can expect to see distribution in some time? Is that something you want to cover a bit more detail on what you're doing there?
Sure. Yes. We're we're running it for how long now? It's I think we started mentioning it sometime in summer, right? Mm. So yes,
Yes.
we're getting close to the final stage of it. So we're almost launching it, and actually, um, we have every single piece that needs to be done in place. It's we're just connecting the pieces together. We have smart contract for claiming the chest collection. The chest collection is the collection what will contain particles of Monique, the CryptoPunk, and of the Substrapunk. Um, this contract will also drop quartz, a little bit of quartz, as we register addresses in there so that people can claim. Um, we are wrapping up the list of registered addresses as well, so that we can proceed with claiming and actually with minting the chests and pieces. We're gonna lock. So What's happening this next and the week after next? We're gonna um, go lock the NFTs, the Monique and Substrapunk. We're gonna lock them in Ethereum, Monique in Ethereum, and Substrapunk on Quartz. We're gonna issue RFT tokens, 100,000 of pieces of each. We're gonna mint the chests, put the particles of or fractions of Monique and Substrapunk in the chests, deploy the smart contracts for claiming, for mainly for claiming, yeah. Smart contract for claiming, uh, put the chests on it, load addresses in it, and basically start claiming.
Awesome. Thanks, Greg. So, yeah, and we will, as we develop this, we will start sharing the steps to claim. We recently launched a video that shows the entire process, right from the launching of the campaign to how you can claim, and we'll share more details on that soon. So, thanks, Greg and Alex, for the updates. From a marketing point of view, I would. Um, First of all, I'm very excited to have Dusan and Toza from Sociable Weaver. I would first like to invite them. They are the winners of the Polkadot America Hackathon that happened earlier in the year. So just want to check in, Dusan and Toza, you're able to speak. Are you joined in? Yeah.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Dusan. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for inviting us. We are here as well
Thank
with
you.
Tiana, our
Oh,
CMO.
Tiana.
She's here as
Hi,
well.
Tiana. Thanks for
Hi.
joining.
We will talk together, like some parts she will cover the first part, and then we are here for some technical stuff and also for the questions. We would like to hear
Sure.
some. Okay,
All right. So
I'll
let
give
me just
over to her.
give a yeah. Let me just give a quick heads up to the community. The I think I can hear my own voice, but so Sociable Weaver is one of the hackathon winners, and they have used our nested NFTs to create a beautiful UX UI, which is very simple and indicates applications for a lot of use cases in real life. So you'll see the video in the community, and you can check out their YouTube video later, which describes the project. But I would just love to hear more from you and Dusan, Tihana, and Tezo that please share with the community what did you why did you choose Unique Network, and what's your vision with Sociable Weaver? Where do you see it going, and also any help you need from the community?
Okay, hi guys. My name is Tiana, and I'm here from Sociable Weaver. So actually, we chose Unique Network because we joined the hackathon. So we had a challenge to create a moderately complex nest structure of NFTs. So we had to create something like UI that will simplify reorganization of the NFTs and elements and relocating them as the elements within the nesting trees. We saw that as exciting challenge, so we just wanted to give it a try. So we created an interactive UI, which is really simple, and I think it allows users to create and attach NFT collections and properties and attributes and seamlessly nest them into the nesting tree. I think that one of the main points of our application is that it is really simple to use. It's visually really attractive, and it's um, you can see every part of the tree, and you can see all the details about the NFTs which are in the tree, and you can attach an NFT to another NFT, and so you can nest them and create a nested structure of NFTs, and you can reorganize them to your liking at any time. This also makes it possible to transfer ownership of the whole subtree to another person or another NFT. And so there are endless solutions, endless possibilities of this solution. So I think we made a tool which simplifies complex nested structures in a way that is intuitive and easy to comprehend. So we use unique network solution to find the right usage. But I think the thing that we are currently at is that we have a tool, but we are trying to find um, the best possible usage of it so we can use its full potential. So that's why we wanted to talk to the community and to see where it can fit the best.
Also, I'd like to add that we really like the unique network because, first of all, its software and solution was very easy to use. So it allowed us to really focus on the UI and the idea itself. And also, the very important thing to mention is that all the fees and everything was covered by the unique network. So again, it's easy for also for other developers to jump on the network and start building their own stuff. Also, I heard that Alex mentioned that the SDK is live, so I believe this also simplifies the process as well. So pretty much the important part is that this is adapting to everyone and anyone who is transferring from Web3. And I think our project is giving them an example of practical usage of the blockchain and NFTs. And also, I think it's the starting point of implementing the Web3 to everyday life. It also raises the awareness and it gives the possibility and for other people and other users to explore and the decentralized application and uh, everyday usage of the blockchain. And also, as Tiana mentioned, we hope that through the community we will get some nice feedback and also some uh, ideas of how we can pivot our idea and actually make the bigger more use cases and build the solution for broader community.
Awesome. Thank you, team. Okay, I do hear echo at my end.
Unmute, maybe you hear from us.
Um, okay. Yeah, I think it's gone now. So thank you, team. I think thanks for sharing the updates, and feel free to drop in your socials, and we can share that with the community later. The key highlight, I believe, of your project was how simply you've created an organizational structure through nested NFTs, where employees and skills are nested into an organization and a project, and how easy it is to move that mapping around. Very simple use case of enterprise level usage. I think that has a lot of applications, and looking forward to how the project develops further. So thanks, team, and in future we'll have more of our projects coming and join these community calls and even the ambassador calls. So on an overall marketing level, I'd briefly talk about the first the events. We had a good presence at Singapore Token 2049. We developed some good partnerships and relationships with the ecosystem, with Parity marketing team, and in general with the Asia blockchain communities. There is also Vietnam Blockchain Summit that's happening, and along with a few other parrot chains, we are organizing the Dot in Vietnam event. And if you are heading over to Hanoi, please do reach out to me or feel free to sign up for the event. Having attended these events, it has given us sort of a clear understanding of the importance of local community building. And along with the ambassadors, we discussed a new idea with our senior ambassadors yesterday. And with their input, we are very soon launching a program for the community where you will be able to organize events and awareness sort of meetups for Unique Network with full support from the team. We're rolling this out progressively to ambassadors and to the community as well. So thanks for all the feedback to the senior ambassadors who discussed this with us yesterday. And I would also like to highlight that, especially in the Vietnam Blockchain Summit, our ambassadors from the Vietnamese community have stepped up to help us with the event. And that is the kind of engagement we'd love to see all across. And we are creating and providing support and framework for the community to participate and help us grow. There will be a lot more granular details on these things covered during our ambassador calls. Evelyn and Kevin from the team are rolling out a calendar for ambassador calls, for senior ambassador calls, and for candidate calls. So please stay tuned to those channels as well. I guess, and going forward, I mean, in the next coming weeks, we are, as Greg mentioned, we are ramping up the implementation and rollout of our RFT campaign, Punks for the People. So stay tuned to that. Do watch a video that we released recently. I guess that is the main thing, big focus on engaging with the community and ambassadors. And we will close the year with sharing more updates about marketing plans, which are already shaping up from 4 Jan onwards. So that's where we are. I will now pass this on. There are a few questions around community building, which we will address towards the end, but I'll now pass this on to Irina to talk about ecosystem and business development.
Thanks, Charu. Hi, everybody. So Alexander already covered our strategy for partnerships, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on all the exciting things that happened just in this month, and actually in the last couple of days. There are lots of updates to share with you. So first of all, our key partner, our strategic partner, Lemonade Social, is doing great progress. Just yesterday, they ran a successful event where they minted proof of attendance NFTs on Unique Network for Coin Bureau event during Future Blockchain Summit in Dubai. We're working with Coin Bureau on expanding our partnership and creating other initiatives also involving our other ecosystem project partners and establishing a long-term collaboration. Also, I'm very excited to share with you that we are going to have an event and a collaboration with Museum Week at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris, 25th and 26th of November. We got funding from the Polkadot Treasury, and this partnership will again involve Lemonade Social as the ticketing system for the event. For this specific one, we're expecting around 16,000 people who will come to listen to a lecture at the Earth University. And the theme of the event will be environment and NFT activism. So we have spent some time helping them bring on board our art communities, collaborating with unit artists, with our partner Art Pool. Pauline, the founder, will be doing curation for the event. Lemonade will be doing tickets, and we'll have an exhibition where we're now collecting artworks and submissions. So if any artists here in our community are listening, please do reach out to learn more about terms of participation. Also, very important detail here is that Lemonade is multi-chain platform. So we're looking at the ways how we can also integrate and use Moonbeam, which we already have XCM connection. But for the future, when NFTs will be interoperable and when we'll have XCM for NFTs, we'll be able to use 3 networks. Lemonade is also planning to integrate with Remark in the near future. Important detail here as well is that we are working on a long-term collaboration with Museum Week. You might have seen the post on their Twitter. They have over 200,000 members in community. They have partnership with all key museums in Europe, and museums in Europe are looking into integrating NFTs into their business activities, into their exhibitions. And we're working on more advanced use cases, as well as the simple point entries such as ticket, to offer museums long-term valuable solutions in the form of NFT. So Sovereign Nature is running their hackathon in Kenya currently. So there are some good outcomes, and we are discussing our further collaboration on their incubators and the startups that they are onboarding to Unique Network. Artpool is also continuing working on their platform, which is multi-chain as well. So we are looking at this integration and are already actively working on curation and art competitions. Digital Art for Climate, as I mentioned on our previous call, is running the second art competition for COP27. Submissions are already closed, and we are at the stage of public voting. So the second collection the winners will be announced on November 10 at the COP, and we'll be creating second collection. Also here we have Artpool helping us with curation, and the platform is an open platform for events where the voting is public, is open. Please do check it out. It's very exciting. We have some really good artworks from the African continent. So getting some really good content there. In terms of COP27 Digital Art for Climate, we now have secured our pavilion. We're going there with HBAR Foundation, with Evercity, BitGreen from our ecosystem. And we'll be doing some really exciting announcement as we're working tapping more into carbon credits, offsets, loyalty programs, and sustainability programs. There are several corporate clients that we are in conversations with right now who are looking at Unique and really favoring it as the most sustainable blockchain solution. Sustainability is a key benefit that big organizations see in the blockchain space, and they see NFTs as a great potential for the future. Still, for them, it's a lot to uncover, especially in the long-term sustainable business models here, because we've seen many trying to enter the space, launching a collection, and kind of not having a continuous engagement with their communities and their customers. So we are working on the offering that will be more sustainable and long-term, and that will bring continuous relations between Unique and businesses. So in terms of also collaboration inside of Polkadot ecosystem, we have launched a partnership with Unit Network. Unit Network is the token economy hub. They are looking to become a Polkadot parachain. Currently, they have a blockchain academy Also, for those of you interested in some exciting projects, updates, or insights from the industry experts, they have a blockchain course, Unit Network, and you can access it on their platform. And we have partnered again with Lemonade for certificates, education certificates. So just yesterday, 450 certificates were claimed by the students of the Academy. They have been running this initiative for several years in partnership with INSEAD. And we are continuing this collaboration using nesting functionalities and potentially RFTs or other features we have that will benefit the certificates and will create more engaging and more interesting experience, also much more easy to use experience for the students of the Academy, as well as for the tutors. Also, we have, as I mentioned, we're in conversation with Evercity and BitGreen, so stay tuned for some hopefully very soon to come announcements. And we are integrating a Talisman wallet, which you may know is the second largest wallet in the ecosystem after Sub Wallet. So lots of developments and work are happening on that front. And these are the major updates from me. Please, again, if you're interested in art competitions or exhibiting your artworks, do reach out. We have a lot of art community initiatives happening right now. Thank you. Charu, over to you.
Thank you, Irina. So that's a lot of exciting stuff. And we have 15 minutes to go. So Filip, over to you. And after that, we'll spend some time, a few minutes for Q&A. We've recently announced our SDKs, and will be good to hear more on that from you.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'll try to keep it short so we have a chance to answer some questions as well. So if I'm going fast and speak quickly, I'll try to do it as efficiently as I can. It's very exciting for the developer community, considering that we have created an SDK which has something which is really, really, really interesting. That is the ability to use simple JavaScript and a REST approach to actually accessing all the functionality of the blockchain. Now, this is such a big impact. I cannot stress this. And this is why I'm looking out and reaching out to all the channels, trying to make a developer reach out and say, we've got this unique situation, well, pun intended there, but unique situation where in a community where everybody's discussing, well, what's better, Solidity or Substrate, or, oh, it's so difficult, it is a big task to work on it and so on. All of a sudden, you've got a player that uses simple JavaScript via an SDK, and a REST, even more than that, which makes it even simpler for maintenance to actually do some very, very heavy lifting in the blockchain, to do some very complex stuff, to do, as we've heard, nesting. There's the refungibility coming in, and all these advanced features, and all you need to actually start and to become a player in the field is to have, well, knowledge of JavaScript, which more or less, if you're a developer, you do already. Everybody touches up. The JavaScript is the basic of today, like it was, if anyone remembers the language basic. Well, anyway, this is the big message. This is what we're trying to push out. This is the outreach we're making to all the developers. Come in, give it a try. It's so simple, you'll be surprised. It works, it's efficient, and it opens up so many possibilities. I mean, you get the platform with the most advanced NFT characteristics and feature sets on any blockchain, and you can do it simply via JavaScript and REST calls. So that's the strong message on that part. Concerning a few more products I want to mention and the other activities, I'll be quick. The wallet update, very interesting thing. Fiat on-ramp is becoming a reality. Buying NFTs for cash, that is an interesting thing to have. It's our current wallet also supports, of course, the multi-chain, the unique Quartz and Opal on it. And there is a minting feature built into the wallet. So you can mint your own tokens in the wallet, use the wallet as a tool. So those are some very, very kind of, it turns out, the wallet is going into a Swiss Army knife of very useful utilities on the networks. So keep an eye on that. Do play with it, please. Down it, use it. It's interesting, and it'll grow in some directions. I mean, we'll most certainly have nested NFT support very quickly, RFT support as well. You heard Greg say Ledger integration is, our CTO Greg say that the Ledger integration is coming along. That means that essentially it will be interoperable with our wallet. So that is very exciting news as well. On the education front, no, before we jump to education, a note on hackathons. A lot of them are going on. The IBC Indian Hackathon, the Latin American Hackathon. There will be a workshop tomorrow on the Latin American Hackathon. I will publish the link to that workshop in the developer channel. So for anyone interested, do hop in. It will be showing how you do work, how you program, how to use the SDK on the unique network. So if there are any developers listening in, jump in. I mean, it is for the Latin American Hackathon contestants, but it's worth looking at. We'll have a recording, so you don't have to rush into it. We'll publish it at some point with the approval of the Latin American Hackathon. So that's an interesting point to have. But these hackathons actually provide a platform for us to implement very advanced tasks. So each of those hackathons has its own kind of interesting solution that it provides, and this is a very, very convenient way to push the envelope. As you've heard from the winners of the Hackersummer Hackathon 2022, we actually get some phenomenal solutions, results, and ideas, and we need this to kind of advance the thinking of the community regarding what NFTs are capable of doing and how easy it is to implement. And regarding Unit Network, Irina mentioned them. There will be in Lisbon, I think in the first ever Women's Hackathon. It will be a very, very fast hackathon. We'll be part of that as well, where we'll actually show how simple it is to use JavaScript to create something interesting. So we're hoping to be a part of that. We're making a task on that. So do keep an eye on that as well. Essentially on the educational platform as well, we will be developing a series of short vids, very short videos under 3 minutes that explain the basic concepts of the unique network, can get you up and running quickly if you want to get in touch with the new concepts and the feature sets of the unique networks blockchain. But we'll also be developing videos that go very much in depth and use a lot of screencasts to show how things are done from from inside the house, our developers, from the master's hands. So do expect a lot of updates in that platform. This will be proliferating in the days to come, and as our documentation is growing and getting better and better every day, do hope a lot of kind of material to be available for everyone to start working. Well, that about wraps it up there. Back to you, Charu.
Thank you, Filip. So again, that's a lot of exciting stuff, and I will just quickly jump into some of the questions. It relates to Filip, what you said. There's a question on what's the best way to be of value, or how to add value in the community. So from the development side, we've been sharing and asking for help on feedback, on tools, on SDKs, and I think our CM team can share the links to block time on the calendars from the development team. So that's one thing. If you're a developer and have been using our tools, we're happy to hear your feedback and see how it is going. The other thing is, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have created a format and a framework to help you organize more engagement in your local communities and drive or grow those communities further. So that's something we'll be sharing, again, more granular details in our ambassador calls. Please join those calls. There is, we could definitely use a lot of help on amplification, on content, on taking the message across. So that's one thing, and please do join the community calls for ambassadors. And so that's one way. In terms of all the events that we are posting and we are participating, if you are present in those cities or countries, please reach out to us, and yeah, we'll be very happy to invite you there and have you participate if you're in the same city. So that's one. The second question there is, what are the plans to expand and spread the project? Again, as I said, a lot of ambassador focused and community focused events are being worked out, and we will be sharing in the coming days. So just join our ambassador calls and candidates, or if you have not yet applied as an ambassador, you could do that from the website. You could reach out to us and we can help you on board. There is a question, and Alex, there are a few questions about listing, about private investors. Would you like to just address them in one go, or your thoughts on that?
Sure, with pleasure. Those kinds of questions are always very tough ones for us to answer because we are constrained by laws what we can talk about and what we cannot. So many of your questions we simply are not allowed to address. There are questions of why did we decide to put the token on exchange in such a bad market. That I can say. We've addressed this question in our Telegram channel a number of times. The thing is, we don't choose the market. We are one project. Market is a global market of crypto that has its own mind, and it goes up or down according to its own rules. We do not influence that. We cannot influence that in any way. There was a lot of discussions we had with our advisors at OV and others about launching the token on an exchange in such a bad market or not. Ultimately, we have figured that it is actually better to launch now than to wait. Because number one, we don't know how long we will have to wait for a better market. So it can be, a day, or it can be a few years. Bear markets, again, tend to last for a couple of years. For us, it was kind of too bad. Secondly, we have carefully weighted the options, the impact of that to various stakeholders, and actually everybody is better off. Those who are in it for the long term, who want to stay, who believe in the project when the market is okay, then they will stay on. Those who don't, who are in it for kind of quick cash, will have the ability to sell it. That's as simple as that. What did the sellers do for us is allow others to buy in for the token to use it, because main purpose of unique token is not a security, it's not an investment vehicle. It is a utility token that needs to be used for using the chain on various use cases we help build, and others build on top of unique. So the ultimate decision was we need to make sure that the ecosystem grows, that the usage begins to flow in, and that it grows. And for that, we need a liquid token. There's a couple of projects that are building on unique that need the price information for them to function. And for that, we need a market for it. We cannot kind of dictate how much the token costs. So all those utility features are asking for a liquid token. Never mind the price. If the price is $10 or 10 microcents or whatever, the impact is the same. So that was, that's the kind of question I can answer. Now there is a number of them that we cannot. Again, we have seen, unfortunately, in our community a lot of FUD driven by mostly non kind of token holders. For some reason, those things happen in blockchain space, and we need to kind of be careful about that. The community that we have built from the beginning is in it for the innovation in the NFT space, as are we. And using the token for, you can use the token today for many things in NFT space, and I encourage you to do so. For those who do not have the knowledge or understanding of how to do it, there's a lot of educational materials on it, and we have had the staking on Huobi. I hope we'll have some more. We are working on and launching our staking that will be used for. It's not just staking for the sake of staking. It will be a staking to jumpstart the ecosystem growth, and namely for applications, the apps in the ecosystem, to sponsor transaction fees for their apps, which brings the usage, which creates the value for the all token holders, and as such, rewards are allocated to that. We are very focused on creating value. Now, that value that cannot be created overnight. We just launched the chain, we just launched the tokens, and it will take a year or two or three for it to get real traction and get going. We are ready for that. We are committed to that, and that is something that we are working hard on with the community and everybody else. Again, we cannot comment on the price of the token. Why is it so low? We don't know. We are not the market. We are not the financial guys. We are blockchain builders. We will not be running a buyback. We will not be running things like that. There are questions about additional listings. Please be advised, we cannot say anything about any listings unless it's imminent. That those are the rules of the game. Those are the laws, and every exchange that talks about we talk to, they say the same thing. You don't say anything until we have everything in place, and a few days before. That's the only way to do it. Our views on exchanges are that they serve the purpose of being able for people to buy and sell the token, and in that respect, each additional has marginally less value. A lot less after the first one, and most of the exchanges ask for a lot of money to be listed in some shape or form, and we do not want to we want to be very conservative about what we spend the money on. So we will be focusing on exchanges that do not ask for high listing fees, but are rather supporting the projects because of their value, because of their value to them and to the overall Polkadot ecosystem, for example. We will be working on decentralized exchange capabilities. Those are necessary for functioning of a lot of the apps. We have integrated Quartz with Karura and through XCM, and have listed the token there. We will do similar things with the Unique. We have recently we are working on a channel with a number of Polkadot parachains, and we'll be running some of the similar programs there, because that's the most easiest use case to make sure everything works, and then those channels can be used for a lot of other use cases. There was one more question here for me, or actually two, where the rewards from Huobi come from. Good question. They are coming from Treasury. Basically, they are coming from when exchanges again do the listing. They charge the listing fee both in USDC and in tokens, and the tokens that actually they get, they they give to these kinds of events. We have allocated more towards staking than towards marketing, because or a similar amount, for a simple reason that in the bear market it is very hard to accomplish effective marketing, and rewarding existing investors for us seemed like a better idea, or existing token holders. There's also one more question for me. Is any upcoming collaboration between gaming companies? We are working on gaming in the background, and I wanted us to wait until we have an SDK to really start pushing it. And what we are doing now is we started just this week really kind of focusing on our positioning for the gaming industry. It is big. It has a lot of different kind of angles to it. We have spoken to dozens of games and game companies and so on in the past year or so. We are actively working on relationships with a few now. I cannot disclose any of it, or I don't want to disclose any names until the thing is done. We prefer it that way. I don't want to sell the moon to anybody in this regards at all. I want to kind of we will talk about specific projects when they are real, when they're integrated, when they're launched, and so on, or when the irreversible kind of work on that integration is started. So stay tuned on that. But more importantly, we are starting to work on gaming strategy. We are very good for change for games. We have a lot of very distinguished advantages compared to anybody else, and we intend to use it for the gaming world, definitely. So that's something that will take time. Most of those that we will go after are established players, and they usually require months of relationships and relationship building before they pull the plug. So probably the big news in the gaming industry for Unique will start coming only in 2023. Those are, I believe, I tried to answer the questions that are all for us. That are for me. Charu, if you want to go with what's remaining, if there's any questions more remaining there.
Yeah, I think we've addressed most of the questions that were relevant, and there is one more question around education. Filip, I know you are working on it in the background, and you addressed it briefly as well. Is there anything more you'd like to share on education, and any help we need from developer community, and anything else you'd like to share on that?
Yeah, sure. There's this good message we want to. There are actually two aspects of communicating with the developers, which will help us a lot, and it plays into this education moment as well. So the first message is to let everybody know that using the SDK that the Unique Network has provided is so easy and so efficient in doing complex things that it's really you're at a loss if you don't at least give it a try. So trying to popularize it as the most efficient way to create something, that's the first message. Now this is where education comes in, preparing the materials that show how things are done. The cookbook, the screencasts, the videos that show things, how the documentation that explains it into details, the reference documentation, and so on. So this is being built really rapidly and in full force at this moment, since the SDK is in a phase where it is absolutely functional, working, and things can be built on it, and it is well defined, and so on. So the other aspect of that is getting the feedback from the developers. So this is the interesting thing where I'm very much engaged in kind of following through with everything that's going on, and that is getting the feedback on what are the experiences. Remember, we're talking about something really new. We're not talking about something that has existed in the last 5 years and has become different. We're not talking about the C language here. This is a new approach to doing things, and this means that we're at the start of actually gathering a community which is using it. So it's the initial point. This is why we're putting so much effort into creating a lot of documentation and educational material to get everybody working up to speed as fast as they can. This is the reason why I'm also inviting you to the workshop, and I want you to use the opportunity in most of the hackathons to kind of listen into these workshops, because in most of them we'll be touching upon some specific subjects on how things are done and so on. That's about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Filip. And thank you, everyone, for sharing your questions and joining the call today. Any further questions you have, or would like to engage with us on the topics we shared, would like to join the community, feel free to reach out to any of us. And we look forward to connecting with you again on the upcoming ambassador calls and the next community call as well. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to all the speakers. Thank you. Special thanks to Sociable Weaver team as well.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure talking to you. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.